Welcome back. We're winding down what has been a great first day at the SAP Business Objects User Conference in Orlando, and I am thrilled to be joined by Michael Lovell. He's an IT analyst at 3M, and he's going to talk to us about one of his very popular presentations that he gave this morning. Web intelligence really can do those things your users think it can't. Very well attended, standing room only, and we have him here to talk about some of the highlights. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So, Michael, start off by telling us a little bit about, what were the use cases? What were the users saying to you, and what made you say, we can do this with the software that we have?
So the use cases were things that a business was doing with other solutions, normally just custom-built Excel files, that they no longer have the time or the effort to support anymore. So they need some new way of doing it. So some of these use cases involve things such as taking attainment data and calculating their percent attainment based on targets, or other things such as bringing data from multiple sources and applying a whole lot of filters to them. And the biggest case was taking a group of users that we have that don't like business objects and actually convincing them that business objects will do everything that they don't think it can and will provide a simpler solution that allows them to spend less time on their Excel files and more time doing the more value-added things for the business.
That's such an interesting example you bring up there, especially of the users that don't like business objects. People run into that a lot, especially on the SAP side and on the non-SAP side. What don't they like about it? What was scaring them away?
The thing they don't like is their first experiences with it were about 5 or so years ago when web intelligence was in its infancy, should we say. And there's a lot of problems with it, had issues, couldn't do everything. They haven't really given it another chance since then.
Right.
So it's really just showing them what it can do these days, giving them real examples with their data, some of the splashy things it can do, and just building their confidence and trust so they'll work with you and try new things.
So was it sort of on a user-by-user basis? How did you really evangelize this within your company?
Well, for one of the use cases, we were lucky to have a business IT resource. So in our organization, we're split up into the corporate IT, which I'm part of, but the different business segments also have their own IT source. So we had a partnership with those business IT sources who really saw the need to move away from their old solutions and wanted to get to a corporate solution. So they really helped convince their users and get some of their managers in the business involved to define requirements and help us get them what they need.
So you had a really strong support
Yes.
from the business to begin with.
Yes.
Sort of the key lesson learned that we always take away from some of these sessions. What were some of the other lessons that you learned along the way that you could pass on to people thinking about doing similar projects?
So some of the lessons were, don't force people to do things they're not used to. So to start with, they really just like Excel. So to start with, we just made a web intelligence document that's scheduled to send them an Excel file every day. So easy way to get them started. It's no new learning, it's just a new source of their existing Excel document. And as they get more familiar with that, we introduce them to new features that they can then say, if you want to, you can have these extra features by doing it this new way.
Let's say, keep it simple, right?
Right.
You don't have to give them all these flashy things. They were working with Excel to begin
Right.
with, so. And what about some of the benefits that your users have seen? Can you talk to me about some of those?
So the main benefits are some of these Excel files are doing would take an analyst in a business 2 hours every morning to put together the Excel spreadsheet to give off to management. And now it's just delivered every day automatically, takes less than 5 minutes of that analyst time.
Wow.
So that's almost 2 hours a day that their analysts have free time, that they can do other more value-added things.
That's a huge improvement. Using the software that you already have.
Right. No custom development, just straight web intelligence.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us and sharing some of that presentation too. And if you missed it, I think you can catch it on ASUG Online as well. So definitely do that. And next up, to close out our day, we're going to have our board chairman, Anthony J. Bosco Jr., and he'll be giving us an overview of some of the board's initiatives for the year and a general overview of this conference. So don't miss that interview. Thanks so much for joining us.